We are live on Shaggy TV for the Senex Short Track Series Championship here at the home of the Snowball Derby, the Five Flag Speedway in Pensacola, Florida. Starting to run out of time here for these guys to collect wins. Not a lot of weeks left, I don't believe, here. So, you know, I mean, over that halfway point or right there at it. So if you want to go collect one, you are running out of time. And my apologies here. I may have to turn the cars down. I can't get much louder than this. I've been trying to prep, using a cough drop here before we came on, and my throat is really under the weather here, and So we are only going to do the asphalt portion. Tonight I will run the replay Sunday morning. We'll get it going before football, or maybe during that if we've got an overseas game. Sadly, it'll probably be around then. Yeah, I'll fire up around like 11 in the morning or so, 10:30. I'll let the guys know for sure. That way I'm gonna want to watch the F1 race Saturday night. So I'll be up pretty late. They're in Vegas this weekend. It's Keith Kincaid. He was a 10th and a half up on the field. That was going to be my talking point here to start us off, but that changed. Huh. I guess McCoy going out there and going to work on a qualifying run himself. 16.77. Top 2 pretty close. Really top 4 almost within a 10th of a second. It's 12th through 5th. Basically 0.2 of a second. Right around that quarter of a second mark. So this should be a pretty good race here tonight. At the Five Flag Speedway. Yeah, so I know normally that's another one of the things I like to do. I like to do the grid music. I assume drivers like it too. If you don't, you can tell me and I'll obviously stop it. I'm not going to do that tonight. I'm not going to try to compete over the music. I'll work it way too hard. Because that's another issue I have. Where, you know, because it's not a sick sore throat. If, you know, you guys heard me talking about this thing. I've been to the doctors once or twice here for it. It's a vocal cord issue. Basically, you know, I do this almost every night, and some of the dirt stuff you hear me with the late models, you guys would have done next. That's why I gotta push them back. I get over the top sometimes. And, you know, tonight we're just gonna hopefully Sunday drive this thing. We're not gonna get upset, get too hyped. We're just gonna relax here and try to find out who's gonna bring it home at the Five Flag Speedway as checkered flags wave, or the checkered flag waves on warm-up. We'll get ready to watch qualifying. We'll see who the first guy is out on the racetrack. I may actually, I think I cheated in my software because normally I'm kind of loud. I think I have me turned down a little bit over there, so I'm gonna make me a full 100% here. Then I can talk a little lower. Hopefully, we'll see. Who knows? Let's see. Two guys, Farmer and Papineau, both just got on the track at the same time. Now, who's ahead? It was Farmer, but Papineau, I believe he floored it. Now he gets in the wall, so it's not going to be Papineau. We'll go to the Farmer here in the 54. Let's see what Chris has as we roll around lap number 1. Farmer rolls it into the bottom here through 3 and 4. Purple sector 1. Purple sector 2. That's going to be quick time for the 54 of Chris Farmer. Let's see what the Rhino has as the 71 comes out of 4 for the final time. Or for the first time, I should say. Lap number 1 in the books. He is quick time there with just a green, no purple sector. Overall quickness, but that's gone now. Ed Papineau, nobody should be surprised. The 01 machine, always quick. It just seems like pit strategy. You can get to him sometimes, maybe a rough accident here and there. He gets purple sector 1, slows down sector 2, so can improve the overall lap time. And Tim comes across 7 out of 8 here. Let's see. Cassidy, he may have clipped the wall there lap 1. He's going pretty slow there. Not going to count. So, you know what? Let's find the Flamin' Hot Cheeto here. No, actually, Brett McCoy. He's coming across purple. That's going to be quick time. Brett McCoy, who got it done last week, looking to get it done again. But Keith Kincaid trying to steal it. The Flamin' Hot Cheeto, purple. That is quick time for the 17 of Keith Kincaid by 1/100th of a second over Brett McCoy, who comes across the line. Can't improve. Does Keith improve? Final time by Yella. Not going to do it. Not going to need it. The Flamin' Hot Cheeto, top of the charts, is Robert Keller. I believe this is just a, kind of an extra go around the racetrack. Telling me he already has 2 laps in the book. And, yeah, just rolling around, just a little Sunday cruise here. I mean, he heard me ask for it. That's all we want here. The Hurricane. Just rolling around slow here. But, hurricanes, man, they're popular in Florida. We'll have to see. He's going to do damage, or if he's just going to get out front. I mean, and lead this whole thing, tear up the racetrack. We'll have to see. So right around the 2-minute mark until we get ready to go play out here on the racetrack. Like I say, I hate to keep sounding like the repeat button here. But I'm going to save what I got here for race time in the grid. So I'm going to mute up here, and we'll be back to bring you your starting grid here in about a minute. Stick around here on Shaggy TV. Alrighty here. Let's get ready to take a look at tonight's starting lineup for your Senex Short Track Championship Wild Wednesday starting lineup. And should have 12 cars set to make the call here. Rounding out the field, row 6 to the outside. The 68 of the boss man, Rob Cassidy, to the inside. The 57 of Robert Keller. Row 5 to the outside, the 21 of Blackjack Quinn McLean. To the inside, the 37 of Tim Chapman. Row 4 to the top shelf, the 54 of Chris Farmer. To the inside, the 71 of the Rhino, Chris Reinhold. Row 3 to the outside, the 88 of Dave Brill. To the inside, the 24 of Scott Tice. Row 2 to the top shelf, the 01 of Ed Papineau. To the inside, the 31 of Derek Clouch. Row 1 for your 100 lap A-Main at the 5 Flag Speedway. To the outside, the 36 of Brett McCoy. And starting on the pole, the Flamin' Hot Cheeto of the 17, Keith Cade. Not too sure here if we're going right away or if we get 2 pace laps here. So I'm zooming out to save my butt. Okay. We're going to get 2 laps. And go around one more time, and that gives me a chance to put everything the way it should be here. Not too sure why my logo isn't showing up for you guys. I'm really afraid to do what I'm about to do and refresh it. It not come back. It does come back, but... Oh, okay. All right. Now the logo popped up. There we go. Okay, risk. Sometimes you got to risk it for the biscuit. as we roll through 3 and 4 for the final time. The Flamin' Hot Cheeto watches the pace car pull off. He drops the hammer. The green flag waves. We've got 100 laps to play at the Five Flag Speedway. Caution flag right away here. Lap number 137. Heavy damage here. Not too sure where it kicked off. Let's see here if we can maybe get a tail of the tape. So it looks like the Rhino and I believe Dave Brill made contact. I have no idea how. Try to go up top here. So the 88. He may have thought he was clear. 71, that is a pretty deep send, but he was on the bottom, you know, and kind of gets the door shut a little late, and Tim doesn't react in time. He gets into the back of the 71, then he gets smashed hard. We're almost at the stage where, you know, you maybe don't want to, but I imagine he came down and used that quick repair already. Yeah, not really a choice when you get tattooed that hard, and the Flamin' Hot Cheeto leads the way out front. We've seen this before, you know, a couple cautions here early, and then kind of wind it out. Guys, you know, maybe get near an incident limit or get near that running out of quick repairs, where you're kind of just, you know, forced to behave a little bit. We'll see what ends up coming. Just mind me 1 second here. I went through that cough drop. I gotta get another one here. I'm hurting a little bit. Alrighty. Perfect timing, too. Lights go off. We double up. We get ready to go back racing here. Got the lights on down here in Florida. I think the track temperature was fairly warm, though, so have to see how these guys deal with it as the pace car pulls off. The green flag's high. She's ready to fly. Your A-main is back underway. Side by side for second. The silver bullet to the bottom. Derek Clown's trying to work it, but he can't do it. Too big a run on the outside for Brett McCoy, who falls in line and sets his sights once again, as he has the majority of the season, on that Flamin' Hot Cheeto machine. If you're going to try to put the pressure on Keith early, try to get out front, get the track position, and or make Keith, you know, maybe drive a little harder than he wants to. Make him work those right side tires, I should say, right front especially. But you will see some rear tire wear here, especially as, you know, you burn the fuel load off. You kind of slide the rear end around a little bit. You are going to start to see some rear wear on those rear tires, as you see here, single file throughout the field. So drivers are in kind of maybe that calm down mode. Let's figure it out. Keith Kincaid not, though. He slaps the outside wall, leaves the jar open here, and the 36 going to shove his hand in. He wants a cookie. Battling for the lead. Lap number 10. Keith Kincaid saw the writing on the wall, knew he needed to get down, shut the door, and now the silver bullet. He tattoos the outside wall coming down the front stretch, and Ed Papineau maybe thinking about a little counter underneath, but the 01 can't do it. Ooh, couldn't tell who clipped the wall there. We could hear someone bounce off of it. May have been the 68 or the 21. And the 20, well, both of them have right front damage, so they may have both done it here. It's a 68. Very heavy damage. The 21 going to go up there and tattoo it one more time. He opens the door here for that Miami Hurricane machine of Robert Keller. Robert looks to the inside, not going to get much of a fight here. He gets the pass done easily. It's the 37. He gets loose coming off of 4 as he tries to make the move. Almost clips the apron, has to fight it up the racetrack. You got to let go of the wheel when you clip that apron like that, as you saw the 37 push up. That's what he had to do. If you keep wheeling to it, you're going to end up losing that rear end. You're going to go around. And right now, Keith Kincaid in a spot. You know, I mean, last week he was here, but overall, not too familiar with really seeing anything off the hood of this flaming hot Cheeto machine. Used to the clean air, but as I kind of mentioned, McCoy felt clean air important enough that he needed to go force the envelope here, and Kincaid folded a little bit to the pressure, slapped that outside wall, gave up the bottom, and really made the pass fairly easy. As we click through the field, you can see single file all throughout the racetrack, but your top 5, Brett McCoy, Keith Kincaid, Derek Clounch, Ed Papineau, as you can just catch him there on the end, Scott Ice. Final car in your top 5, the 88 of Dave Brill. Then we've got the Rhino. You can see the 54 of Chris Farmer behind him. That is 7th and 8th, excuse me. 9th place, the 57 of the Hurricane, Robert Keller. And back for your final top 10 spot, you see the battle between the 68 of Cassidy and the 37 of Tim Chapman. Tim trying to make a move on the inside as Cassidy pushes up the racetrack a little bit. Maybe wanted to get underneath the 37, couldn't do it. Falls back to 11th, and then rounding out the field there, that 21, we see lots of right front damage on that thing. Imagine pushing up the racetrack, and still got a long way to go. You know, you don't want to be hurting that right front this early on. We've had one caution flag so far, almost a quarter of the way through, is now on lap 22. Still continues to be single file all throughout the racetrack here. We catch lap cars, which may be coming here, you know. Next 15, 20 laps. That may change things a little bit. May force guys to make a move here. If, you know, you get tight coming off a corner, you maybe can't complete the pass on a lap car. You can see they're 10 seconds off and 16-second lap time. So only about 6 seconds off of McLean, maybe 15 and a half, really. As we are now on lap 25. Their own strategy out there. As the Rhino feeling a little bit of pressure from Chris Farmer, as you see 71 overdrives a little bit the entry to 3, as well as he did previously the exit of 2, and that opened up the bottom. But maybe right now the Farmer can't get there either. Guys may be struggling, maybe driving a little too hard in the early stages and now having trouble hitting that apex in the center of the corner, whereas you see that 36 and that 17, they're about half a lane lower. I mean, they're going down there, they're willing to use it up. Oh, McCoy so close to clipping that outside wall. And or actually, the next time they come down out of 4, I'm going to switch to that start thing. I want to see how close some of these guys are getting to the wall here. See, that's how close we are to lap traffic. So Keith comes up there pretty close, but really it's just kind of misleading with that wall height. There's Tim. I mean, he's leaving a lot of room, almost a full car length. Lots of room there from the guys towards the back who are starting to push. You know, they don't want to get anywhere close at all and ruin their races. only a third of the way through, so a long, long way to go here. And Papano, is he thinking about making a move for third? Sticks the nose underneath that silver bullet. Can't pull the trigger here. Got to fall back in line. This Clownch pushes up out of 2. You see the good drive Papano has, but it's not enough. Gonna have to cut down here. He's trying to run that cut down, but he just gets in the throttle too late. That the run that he gets coming off the corner isn't enough to make up for the 31, even if he is overdrive and exit, pushing up the racetrack a little bit. Just not close enough to make him pay for it. Let's see, man, oh man, he is getting a run this time, but not going to be able to do it. Man, a little part of me thought the 01 was going to go full send there, try to make the move before they catch lap traffic. It's Cassidy, he's going to go to the bottom here. Clownch, he now going to look to the inside. Papano going to see the door shut. Oh, boy. Tough break there. Caution flag going to wave. We saw it happen live. And I mentioned just bad luck for Ed Papano. Going to continue here as he's involved in the second caution of the night, along with the 68 of Cassidy, who just, he drives it in low and maybe didn't realize, maybe was going to give the spot up going down the backstretch. But when he sees the silver bullet machine down there, they make a little bit of contact, and then he kind of panics a little bit, moves up the racetrack, and man, Ed, I know you want to, make that move. You want to be aggressive. You want to get around lap cars, but at the end of the day, I think the majority of people that got to watch that from the view we did, that was never a good idea. Trying to split lap traffic like that. Just be patient. And that's why I'd kind of said, the lap or two before, I expected a send there. If you were going to do it, that was the time to do it. So, you don't want to make that move as you come up on lap traffic. Just not the time or the place. So, tough break, but ultimately he's going to, pay for it. Gonna have to drive his way up through the field one more time. Scott, so Keith Kincaid, I don't know if he took 4, took more fuel, what the deal was here. He couldn't have took 4 because 4 is in the 22nd pit stop, I think. But Keith had a 15-second pit stop, whereas Scott Tice, the man in P2 now, 11 seconds. So something, spot the difference there. Not too sure what it was down pit road, but it was something. Now we'll have to see if Keith, he's got to get by 2 guys now, and I'm telling you, it's going to be hard enough to get by 1 unless you're willing to move the guy, get really aggressive. So we'll have to see if, how the guys play here. What's going to happen? Will they be naughty? Will they be nice here? As the green flag waves, we are back underway. Lap 41 at the 5 Flag Speedway. Oh man, Tice not even gonna play around here. He is gonna let the Flamin' Hot Cheeto make the move. Just wanted to fall in line. Maybe the smart move there by the 24. But we are back under caution. One more time is, I don't know if the 31 was involved or if he was just slowing down. Oh, he's definitely. We rewinded a little too far, but hey, that's what it's going to go sometimes. Let's go up top too. So Tim takes a peek underneath and, maybe thought he was going to go up to the outside wall, but he didn't. And, there's nothing that makes that 31 have to go to the outside wall. And so far, so good for the 31. I mean, you never want to be the caution and fall to the back. But man, able to keep it out of the fence. That is a great job there by the silver bullet of Derek Clounches. And Tim may not be getting any, Christmas presents from Derek this year. As, Derek, he is going to be very, very happy, though, keeping that out of the inside wall. That was a close call. Not an easy thing to do there for the 31. I think the lights will go off this time. I believe they do. We'll double up here and we approach what will be, when we get the green flag, 5 laps from halfway here. So we'll have 45 laps in the books when we drop the hammer. Now Tice on the bottom row too. Can he take advantage? Maybe do what Keith did to him. We'll have to see as the green flag waves. We're back underway. Great restart for Keith, who I think is going to be able to shut that door. Yes, he can fall right in line behind the 36. And now battling for third. Ed Papineau, he says, remember me, I'm back, baby. Right inside of the top 3. Ed Papineau wheeling that machine as Farmer and Chapman, they make contact. Farmer in the outside wall. Muscled up. The racetrack didn't want to back out of it. He ended up kissing that outside wall. Farmer loses one more, maybe 2 more as the Rhino sticks his horn in there. The 71 makes the move. And the Farmer, boy, oh boy, he is going to have to pick up the scraps here. Really pull himself back together as he's going to lose another one now to the Hurricane. Here comes Rob Cassidy as well, the boss man. Oh, man. Meanwhile, up front, same old story. That 36 out front, feeling himself here. And this time by, we've got 51 laps to go here at the Five Flags Speedway. As the old leader clipped the outside wall there, Brett McCoy. You could see the sparks fly. You could definitely hear it. Didn't look like it was too bad, but you don't want to do that at all if you're the 36. Not when you're out front. I mean, you can see the right front fender definitely bent back. You can see his tire exposed. Whereas Keith Kincaid, I mean, that thing clean as a whistle on that right front. And man, Brett McCoy, it's not going to affect the handling too much, but, you know, it will a little bit. You're going to notice absolutely everything. When it was handling so good early on, and now maybe starting to fade is Ed Papineau. He may be starting to fade as well. He lost third to Scott Tice, and here comes Dave Brill. Dave thinking about making a move here, putting that 88 inside of the top 4. Brill's got Chapman behind him, along with the Rhino and the Silver Bullet here. So lots of cars, many things can happen, and if you're Papineau here, you know, you got to stop the bleeding. If Dave makes the move, you got to fall in line. You don't want to let this whole line of cars go by. You don't want to fight this too long here. But he is. He's going to drive it in the outside. And now, exactly like I said, Tim Chapman going to take a peek on the inside. Ed going to lose one more here as we come to the line. The 37's got him. And here comes the Rhino sticking his horn in there. Boy, oh boy, I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. I mean, if we saw Keith do it, now we see 3 wide, a little contact. Clounch trying to get a little 2-for-1 special. He gets Papineau. Now he's trying to get the Rhino, the Silver Bullet. May get a late race charge. Oh, he comes across the nose of the 71. Big contact. And we are back under caution here at the Five Flag Speedway. So we obviously saw him come across the nose. I couldn't tell if he came up or the 71 came down from the angle that we were watching here. So just pay attention to the white lines. I mean, yeah, you can see the 71. It's a case of the Tim Chapman deal, but opposite end of the car, you know. The Coors Light machine wants to come up the racetrack, but the 71, he doesn't have to let you do that. He is holding his line, going in a straight line, and it's a shame after that great save for the 31. There was no saving that one hard into the outside wall, and all your leaders come down pit road, all but the 36 of Brett McCoy. Or I mean the 88 of Dave Brill. Dave Brill stays out on the racetrack, looking to take advantage of track position. Now, this is interesting because we've seen how well Keith's done on the restart inside. McCoy, the one time we saw him on the outside, it didn't go too well for him. Gonna have to do something a little different here to try to change the outcome of this race for him. This clown, she wanted to go ahead of those guys. Now he's realizing, hey, I gotta go to the end of the line. The lights should be off. They indeed are. We'll double up and we'll get ready to go back racing here at the Five Flag Speedway. And I really should just do that dirt replay after. That way these guys are around. I'm sorry. I just, man, it's hurt. I want to do it. I should do it for Sunday's sake, but man, I just can't pull myself to do it. As the green flag waves, we're back underway. 62 laps complete. 48 laps to go. Or 38. I can't do math. McCoy with a good restart there was able to hold on to second, makes the move right away with new tires. No wasting time. Keith Kincaid, he pulls on the leash. He goes right on by Ed Papineau in the 88. They make a little contact, but Ed going to get it done here in the 37. He's looking to pick up the scraps as well. Tim Chapman has fresher tires than the 88, looking to use them here as he's got to stay down on the inside. 88 not giving him a lot of room. Why should he? Tim keeps it down below the white line this time. Not going to float up on the outside. Not worth the risk here, he says. Got enough grip that he can just keep her down there, and he gets the pass done. But now the 88 tries the knife back to the inside. Tim going to get the drive off, though, and he holds on. Brett McCoy last time by ran the fastest lap of the race, a 16:75. Keith Kincaid right behind him with a 16:76. These guys are not leaving anything. They are using it all here, and man, we still got 30 plus laps to go. That tells me is, if we would get a caution flag in about 10 or 15 laps, gonna have to come down pit road, I think, if that's how hard these guys are driving this race car. Because we saw Brill, he had about 8 for the 88 here, but he pushes up as well, couldn't do it. Brill looking to shut the door here, but he left a little of the lid open, and that's gonna let some air seep in. The 57 trying to fill that gap, but just can't do it, man. Brill is doing enough to hold on. McCoy continues to lead the way here. 29 laps to go. Keith Kincaid right there. And it is a case of these guys so even right now that it may just come back to that one mistake out of the 17 that allowed the 36 to make the move. Brett McCoy, he has slapped the wall. We saw that wall slapping. Now, in fact, I'm almost certain he probably used the quick repair because that right front is totally fixed. May have been affecting the race car a little bit. Felt like he needed to get it back to 100% here for this final half of the race. If he keeps this up, he is going to hold on for a back-to-back win here with the Senex Short Track Championship Series. That'll be either win number 2 or no, definitely it'll be win 3 or 4, I think. So we got the one Keith was gone. Got last week. I may have been another one fit in there. Who knows? Don't want to count your chickens before they hatch, but 25 laps to go. Brett McCoy continues to lead the show. Ed Papineau, that third and final podium spot. You can see the gap up to Keith in second. There's the gap to third. Pretty even gap, so he's got to be feeling pretty comfortable. You know, I mean, we look at lap times. Last time by, Ed was a 17.0 or 1.8 this time. Tim Chapman a 17.11. Last 2 laps ago, though, Ed was quick. So it's going to be, you know, maybe they're going to rotate back and forth. And Tim going to have to be consistent if he wants to get up to Ed. I mean, he's got 1.2 seconds to make up. Going to need at least half a tenth a lap here. Do the math. And that's, you know, they always say one thing to catch a guy, another thing to pass him. I mean, we've seen that with Keith Kincaid all night. He's been there. Wasn't able to get around. And really, before Keith's mistake, we saw it with Brett early on. He was right there, but just couldn't find a way around. And, I mean, it is literally same shoe they're both having to wear here. This is not the fun place to be, being the guy in second. Keith's getting to that point where he's getting pretty close. And he may have to come a knock in here with that nose. Let's see if he chooses to do so. Light little tap there, gonna nudge McCoy up the racetrack. Just trying to move him off the line. Don't want to wreck that guy. Just trying to unsettle the race car. And man, you could not put a credit card in between him and that 36 right now. He can smell what Brett ate for dinner here, as we've got 18 laps to go. He is right there. McCoy, this is, man, that's one of the most stressful times to be out front right now. You make one mistake like that, Keith can maybe take the lead here. He slid up pretty hard on the exit of 2. Couldn't drive off like you would have liked. Now the 17 pushing up the racetrack a little bit. He had to crack the throttle, and that's a lot of that's got to do with, you know, Keith not having that clean air on the race car. And right now, maybe has the tire advantage as Brett maybe tried to peel open the can, go a little too hard early. Keith is right there, but, you know, I mean, tires almost equaled out because of the push. He finally gets a run. He's going to take a look under the 36 here as they're side by side off of 4. McCoy with a good drive off. He's got to keep him low here. Got to try to pinch him, and oh no, we're catching a lap car. This may be the worst time for this. Oh, Derek Clounce with an A+ move, backs it off center of the corner. Lets both the guys continue to bang doors here with 13 laps to go. Keith got a wedge down on the bottom. The 36 high, wide, and handsome. He's got to drive it in deep here. Got to stay on the outside. Couldn't do it. Looking for an over-under. Here's the 17. Keeps it out of the wall. That may be it. What a move there by Keith Kincaid. Does it clean. Does it on the bottom. 11 laps to go. This time by as the battle for the lead may not be done yet, but Keith Kincaid's got it for now as Ed Papano approaches the lap card. Tim Chapman starting to feel a little pressure here from the 24 and the 57. Keller making a move under Tice, the Hurricane. Trying to get that thing inside the top 5. We're side by side. Give it to Tice here with 10 laps to go. Keith Kincaid starting to pull away a little bit now from Brett McCoy, and you just got to wonder, was Brett a little too hard on those tires? Keith just tugging at the leash here. Absolutely dog walking the 36 here late. As Tim Chapman continues to try to play defense on this pack of dogs behind. Chris Farmer, welcome to the party. Here comes the 54 machine. Clounce gets out of the way one more time. Gonna let those guys continue to do-si-do here. 7 laps to go. Can Tim hold on to 4th? Can Robert Keller hold on to 5th here? I mean, him and the 24 have been going back and forth, back and forth. Neither of them can seem to find a way around that 37. Keith Kincaid out front by almost a second now over that 36, who's got about 2 seconds over Ed Papano. Your top 3 look pretty much settled. This is where the war is still undecided. Tim trying to hold on to 4th here with 5 to go. That BF Goodwrench 37 trying to hunker the bottom, but he just can't right now. Rolling the center, leaving about half a lane, and that's, just enough that it's really making the 57 or whoever it is behind want to throw it in there. But then they get there and they realize, hey, it's not going to work, and then you don't have that drive off the center of the corner. So Tim doing a good job of baiting him. He's getting a good drive off, and it's enough that maybe right now not the quickest among those cars, but he's the smoothest. He's holding his line, and he's being damn near perfect here, which is what he's got to be if he wants to hold on to 4th. As Keith Kincaid sees 2 fingers in the air, 2 laps to go. This time by for the Flamin' Hot Cheeto here at the home of the Snowball Derby. Keith Kincaid had to work for this one. Started out front, slapped the wall pretty early, in the teens there. 36 got on by, and he'd get there. He'd get there. He was like the little engine that could, never gave up tonight, and finally found a way to make those tires last. And with 15 to go, Keith Kincaid made the move to win the race as the checkered flag waves. The Flamin' Hot Cheeto back in victory lane here for your Senex Short Track Championship Series. Brett McCoy 2nd, Ed Papano 3rd, Tim Chapman 4th, and Robert Keller rounds out the top 5. Really good racing here tonight at the Five Flag Speedway. That was a good one. I wanted to get a lot louder than I was at certain points. That was a pretty damn good race here out of those gentlemen. Let's see who will, decide to show up for the interviews here. As once again, we'll run Sunday the dirt all by itself on Sunday morning. I can't do it. It really does make more sense for me time-wise to do it tonight. It would just be way easier, kind of, again, but it's a little too difficult right now, so we're going to have to hold off on that one tonight. But let's go ahead. Let's bring up your 3rd place finisher here, the 01 of Ed Papano. Ed, Shaggy in the booth, man. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
I'll tell you what, man. I kind of talked about you on the broadcast. You're somebody who you're always qualifying pretty well, but let's be honest, man. You're finding yourself in some pretty unfortunate situations here, and the victim of some cautions tonight that maybe weren't your fault, but you're still able to drive that thing back onto the podium, man. How good do you feel after that?
Yeah, I feel pretty good to come back up to third. Just kind of, I've had bad luck with pit stops and just cautions this year. So to actually get through that, and I had nothing for Brett and Keith. So to be back where I was pretty happy.
Yeah, and well, I don't know if anybody does there, Eddie. You know, I raced with you guys in the practice, and I didn't have anything for him. I still haven't figured it out yet. The pace those guys have and the way they're able to maintain it. I mean, were you worried there at all? You know, towards the end, I mean, I know you obviously you're racing, you're focused, but the Ford behind you battling pretty hard. I think that kept them, you know, from kind of running you down. Were you aware that those guys behind were battling that hard?
Yeah, I saw that group behind me, and I was looking ahead, and I saw those two battling. I'm like, I'm kind of in the middle here, so I tried to just keep hitting my marks and stay out of trouble, and was hoping maybe they'd bump each other ahead of me, or maybe even behind me. But it all worked out good still.
Yes, it did. Ed, congratulations on the P3, brother. Welcome back to the podium. You got anybody you want to thank?
I just want to thank you. I want to thank Keith and everybody that runs in this league, man. It's a great time.
A hell of a job, Ed. Can't wait to talk to you again, man. Congrats on P3.
Thank you, sir.
Ed Papano, your third place finisher. And now we're going to bring up the man who finished P2. Brett, it looked like you were going to get him there, man. I mean, he made the mistake early on. You made the move on the bottom. You got the lead. And it seemed like, you know, obviously we were getting cautions every now and then, but he could get to you. He just couldn't get around you. And then there towards the end, you know, we maybe go a little too hard too early trying to get a lead. It was the right side tires gone.
Yeah, the right front was a little more used than I want it to be. I love this track, and the line I really like to run, I couldn't because he was too close. I like to arc it in there, and that's eventually what got me was I kind of tried to arc it in one lap, and he got under me, and that was all it wrote. But I'm happy to be, if we had a pretty long run and to only be a second or so behind him at the end. I know I've won a bunch of these this year, but on a long run, staying that close to him's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, especially, you know, I mean, you proved that you were oh so smooth. I mean, obviously, you can't use it as an excuse because he did a good job getting out of the way. But man, how were you about to have a heart attack when you're running too wide and you come up on lap traffic? I mean, that had to be nerve wracking.
It was trying to figure out if I needed to try to lift and cross him over or what, but I mean he moved up. It was he did a good job, and I figured once Keith cleared me that was going to be it. So I tried to stay on his door and run him as hard as I could, but just not quite enough tonight.
Now, if we would have got a caution there after Keith gets around you, I mean, he's had track position burn him so many times that if we do get a caution, if he goes down pit road, do you stay out? You know, try to do the opposite of what he does to go for a win here.
I think once we got inside of 5, 6 laps, I probably would have stayed out. I mean, it's almost the worst case scenario leading after you've run 20, 30 green flag laps and then have a yellow come because everybody's pretty much you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, right? They're going to do whatever you do, they're going to do the opposite. But I just think it's kind of the age old thing this year. If we're running 20, 30 laps, I like my chances, but you get beyond that and he's pretty tough to beat.
Well, hey, you know, at the end of the day, nothing wrong with P2. And as you said, I mean, you hung with him there for a while. Being within there, that second range, that's pretty impressive there after a long green flag run. So great job tonight, Brett. Congratulations on the P2. You got anybody you want to thank?
You for putting on the show, Keith for running this. I think I mentioned it once earlier this year, but Ed for painting a good looking race car. And as always, the wife for letting me come hide upstairs for a couple hours a week.
Hey, hell of a run, Brett. Can't wait to have you back, brother. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
Brett McCoy bringing it home P2. And now we'll talk to the bell of the ball here, the Flaming Hot Cheeto. Man, I almost counted you out, brother. I mean, it looked like it was going to be another one of those races where, you know, I know you're willing to bump him nice. We saw it a couple times, but I know you're good enough. You're not going to go up there. You're not going to move him out of the way directly to win that thing. And I mean, it came down to once again, you just had the better tire wear. I mean, how were you able to do that, Keith? You kept his pace, but somehow you keep the magic on those right sides. And really, with 15 to go, you could see him struggling. And man, that's when you set your teeth in.
Yeah, Shaggy, I kind of gave him a little bit of leash and let him run a little bit there, and was hoping he'd use up his stuff. And then once I got close to him, I just kind of put the pressure on him, and he overdrove it just a little bit. I think he got the tires just a little hot, and we just had that opportunity and took it, and still had the tires to bring her home on the podium.
Now, how nervous were you, when you slapped the wall and let him around? Because let's be honest, I mean, not a lot of cautions tonight, but at the pace we've been this year, we get a couple more cautions sprinkled into this, not as long a green flag run. It's going to be tough for you to get around him. So were you nervous whenever you made that mistake?
Yeah, Shaggy, I probably need another shower after that race. that was a barn burner. Yeah, and to be honest, I was looking in the rearview mirror, and it got me every time. So, got to keep the eyes forward and worry about what's in front of you, not what's behind you.
Yeah, and obviously, you made up a little bit of time, or I mean, you made the spot back there on the one restart. But I saw Scott get around you in that one pit stop. Did we overshoot the pit stop or something that we had to back up, maybe lose a little bit of time, or maybe Scott just went fuel only? Because I mean, you got by him fairly quick, but man, when you fell back to third, that got me nervous too.
Yeah, that front pit stall is almost impossible to see, and I actually overshot it twice during the race. The first one cost me a spot. Luckily, the second one didn't cost me. It was just barely past it. But
Yeah,
it's just coming in there so close to him. It's just hard to see, and I just ran through it.
Yeah, I did an overview of you on that one, and it's so funky. I mean, your nose is almost out over the cone the way they fit that front pit stop in. It's really weird, but hey, man, you overcome it. You find a way to get this thing back to the front once again, and this was a great race, man. You guys battled hard for a bunch of laps. You did it clean on the bottom. Congratulations on a big win. You got anybody you want to thank, Keith?
Yeah, thank you, Shaggy. Just all of our drivers for coming out and racing with us. I mean, they just put on such a wonderful show. Everybody drives so respectful. It's just a great group of guys to run with week in and week out.
Well, hey, hell of a run, Keith. Congratulations on the big win, and we'll plan on 10:30 Sunday for that other one. How's that sound?
That sounds perfect.
All right. Congratulations. Big win, Keith.
Thank you, Shaggy.
Keith Kincaid bringing home the win. And with that, yeah, we're going to wrap it up here. I'm sore, throat hurting. We're going to take it easy, call it a night here, and we'll be back live. Or not live, but with the replay Sunday for you gentlemen here. So tune in, 9:30. We'll set another one up. My name is Zach Chapman with Shaggy TV saying so long and have a good one.